Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at the Repulsor tank, which is a Primaris heavy transport. It comes with a really high toughness and wounds and has a substantial amount of small arms fire that you can bring to bear. A couple of the weapons can be upgraded to anti-tank weapons to give you a little bit more of harder hitting capability. And it also has a really good ability that allows units to avoid charges and get back in. It comes with quite a large transport capacity and it's actually okay priced in the current meta. Taking a look at the datasheet, it comes in at 190 points. It comes with a movement profile of 10 inches, toughness 12, 3-up save, a massive 16 wounds, 6 leadership and a really nice objective control of 5. It comes with deadly demise D6, so if it does manage to explode, any units within 6 inches will take D6 mortal wounds each. It comes with a range profile of ballistic skill 3+. And it's got the choice of 2 weapons for your main weapon. The first one being the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. This comes with the Devastating Wounds keyword, so when you get critical wounds, they bypass the save throw. This comes with a 24-inch range, 12 attacks, strength 6, 0 AP, and 1 damage. Instead of the Gatling, you can opt to take the Las Talon instead. This comes with a 36-inch range, 2 attacks, strength 10, minus 3 AP, D6, plus 1 damage. It comes with the Repulsor Defensive Array, which is a lot of small arms fire. This has a 24-inch range, 18 attacks, strength 4, 0 AP, and 1 damage. It comes with the Hunter Killer Missile. This is an indirect weapon, so you can shoot when outside a line of sight. However, you will get -1 to your ballistic skill, and they will benefit from cover. It also comes with a one-shot keyword, meaning you can only use this weapon once a game. It comes with a 48-inch range, 1 attack, ballistic skill 2, which is really nice, a high strength 14, minus 3 AP, and D6 damage. It also comes with a twin heavy bolter. This comes with sustained hits 1, so critical hits of a 6 will generate another hit, and twin links so you can reroll the wound roll. It comes with a 36-inch range, 3 attacks, strength 5, minus 1 AP, and 2 damage. If you want to go a little bit more anti-tank, you can swap the heavy bolter for the twin Las Cannon. This comes with the twin linked keyword, so you can reroll the wound roll. The Las Cannon comes with a 48-inch range, 1 attack, strength 12, minus 3 AP, and D6 plus 1 damage. Moving across to its melee profile, it comes in with a weapon skill of 4+. Like with all of the other Space Marine tanks, it's equipped with the armoured hull. This comes in at 6 attacks at strength 8, 0 AP, and 1 damage. Moving on to abilities, it has an ability called the Emergency Combat Embarkation. What this does is that once per turn, after an enemy unit has declared a charge and before that charge has been completed, you can select one of these units, and if all the models within the unit are within 3 inches of the repulsor, they can embark onto the repulsor and not be charged. However, your opponent will be able to declare a different target for their charge. So what buffs and combos can you give to the Repulsor tank? Whereas standard, the Tech Marine will give them +1 to hit and can heal them in the command phase, which is really nice. The Repulsor has quite a large capacity. You can fit 10 normal Marines in as well as 2 leaders. Depending on the makeup of your squad, you can either have 2 5-man units with a leader, or potentially you could have a 10-man unit with 2 leaders within. A good way to utilize the capacity is to have an Infernus unit with Captain, where you get the free stratagem use. That's quite a powerful combination. There's also a unit that's on a bit of a rise at the moment after a couple of points deductions in the Stern Guard with a Captain, again for that free strat use. You can also take a Lieutenant with this for the lethal hits, or potentially you can swap out the Captain for a Librarian for the 4-up invulnerable save to keep them around a little bit longer. There's certain detachments that allow you to get sustained hits, which is a really good ability for the Stern Guard, and because they have those devastating wounds, so the amount of hits you can get through means you're going to get more chance to roll those wounds. You can take Gravis as well. They take up 2 spots each, so you can potentially take a 3-man aggressor or eradicator squad and put a leader in there as well. This will take up the 8 spots. You still do have 4 left over. You could perhaps squeeze in a 3-man eliminator or any other models that you can fit in there. So you can push this forward, pop out your aggressors and eradicators and just destroy some dudes and then hold an objective because you're really durable. If you are looking for pushing objectives and holding on to them, you could take your 5-man intercessor squad and have a character to run with it. Jump forward and get onto an objective and you'll be very hard to move. You'll have the Repulsor's objective 5 control as well, so on top of your 10 for the heavy intercessors and whatever character you give them, and it'd be very hard to shift these guys off of the objective for the majority of the game. If you want to get the most out of the small arms fire, you can pair it up with a Storm Speeder Hail Strike. When the Storm Speeder targets an enemy unit and is successfully hit, it can choose this unit for additional AP for all other units targeting it. Now you've got a lot of small arms fire that doesn't have any AP, so putting a 1 AP on that will make your arms fire all that more potent and make it more likely that you can be able to take on largest hordes units and make sure you are killing them. There's a couple of detachments where you can get a lot of use out of them. The first being the Anvil Siege Force, which is the Imperial Fist detachment. The detachment rule is called Shield of the Imperium, and this grants you the heavy keyword on all your ranged weapons. If you already have the heavy keyword, then when you remain stationary, you get +1 to wound as well. They have a really nice stratagem called Battle Drill Recalls. You get sustained hits 1 on range attacks, and if you remain stationary, you get that critical hit on a 5+. So what you'll be doing if you're stationary, you'll be hitting on 2s, critically hitting on 5s for sustained hits 1, and you've got a substantial amount of attacks coming in at that. And then you got that +1 to wound, so those strength 4 weapons are going to be a little bit better going into the likes of Space Marines for quite a nice buff onto the 1 unit. Next up we have the Ironstorm Spearhead, which is the Iron Hands detachment. Their detachment rule is called Armored Wrath. So once per phase, each unit can re-roll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll, which is really nice. That's going to be more beneficial really when you are targeting them with Allah's Talon and the Twin Link Las Cannon, so you can make sure those D6 damage is not going to really screw you over by rolling 1s. There's a piece of war gear enhancement that can go in a Tech Marine called the Target Augury Web, and this is an aura ability. So when within 6 inches of a Tech Marine, you gain lethal hits, which is really nice. Finally, there's a stratagem called Mercy's Weakness. When you're targeting a unit that's below half strength, you get sustained hits against this unit on all range attacks. And since the Repulsor is a vehicle, you get to critically hit on a 5+. So if you are also within the range of the Tech Marine, on a 5+ to hit, you will be getting sustained hits 1 as well as lethal hits, which is really nice. Finally, we have Firestorm Assault Force, which is the Salamander's detachment, and their detachment rule is called Close Range Eradication. What this does, it grants you the assault keyword on all range weapons, so you can advance and still shoot, and if you're within 12 inches of your of the enemy unit, you get +1 to the strength of your range weapons, which is really nice. They've got a couple of really good stratagems. The first one called Rapid Embarkation. So at the end of the fight phase, you can select a unit to re-embark onto the transport. And the models have to be within 6 inches. That's every single model within the unit, and they can't be in engagement range of an enemy unit. They also can't have disembarked this turn. So what you can essentially do is push your repulsor forward, pop out with whatever you want to pop out with, whether it's your Gravis Marines, your aggressors, unloading with the lethal hits from the biologists, just unloading carnage on anything around it, or potentially in Furnace, popping out with your pyroblasters, with your 10d6 shots, just melting anything that's within 12 inches of you. So once you've decided, you've fired, you've unleashed your load, you've done what you needed, at the end of the fight phase, you can then pop back in to the repulsor for 1 CP, allowing you to potentially remain on objective, potentially not get shot off, get tied up in combat, so you're around for a lot longer in the game. Next we have one called Onslaught of Fire. This allows one unit that's disembarked this turn each time they target an enemy unit within 12 inches of that unit, and if it's the closest eligible target, you get +1 to the hit roll, which is really nice. Again, if you popped out with aggressors, you'll be hitting on those 2s rather than 3s, making you all that more successful. Finally, we have Burning Vengeance. When a transport is being targeted for a ranged attack, the occupant can disembark and shoot at the enemy unit as if it's your shooting phase. They can only do this if it is an eligible target. But this is quite useful for if your repulsor is about to die, you can pop out, especially if it's towards the end of the shooting, and shoot back and potentially kill the unit that's been shooting. But what you're going to do is you're going to stand on the objective and put more OC on it, making it much harder for them to take from you. Whilst you could just stay within your transport and hope they don't blow up, and if you do spill out into the objective, what this allows you to do is make sure you are targeting one of their units early on and making sure you take it off the board. You've then also, especially if it's a flamer unit, you've got the ability when they want to charge in to overwatch and take them out. So there you have it with the Repulsor, quite a decent unit. It's probably fairly pointed at 190 points. I wouldn't be surprised if it popped down a little bit because they're not seeing an awful lot of play. There is a bit of an issue with the likes of the Repulsor array being 0 AP that does struggle with some output into a lot of armies, especially the likes of Space Marines or anything that's T4 or with a 2 or 3 up save, especially ones with Feel No Pains and the likes of those. It's very hard to push through damage with this type of unit, and if you do swap for the anti-tank, you end up finding out that actually a strength 10 weapon isn't that great, and you're only getting the one shot with the twin link las cannon, and the hunter killer is only once a game. So you are really struggling, and yet the fate of the dice gods there, and they will roll low when you've only got a couple of shots. We all know this. Check out these other videos. If you liked what you see, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, pop over to Patreon for the free membership, where you can see all the memes. I'll be blogging away. It's where I'm most active on social media, and there'll be freebies along the way. And if you want to support the channel, get more of a premium membership, and there'll be goodies going along. See you next time.